Jessica Biel's been caught up in the Britney and Justin drama, so let's talk about that. Welcome to Beyond the Screen. I'm Nate, and these are 10 celebrities who tried to warn us about Jessica Biel. Number 10, Jason Statham. Jason is no stranger to the action world. This man has tussled with sharks, jammed jumper cables down his throat, and battled alongside Dwayne Johnson. He is unstoppable. In 2005, Jason got the chance to star alongside Jessica Biel and Captain America himself, Chris Evans, but more on him in a couple of minutes. In the film, Jason plays the same man that he has played for like 20 years. He's a bad influence, a tough guy, he's Jason Statham, with Jessica acting as the leading lady and titular character, London. The film actually follows London attending a loft party in New York where her ex, played by Chris Evans, attempts to win her back. Overall, Jessica and Jason actually spend very little time together on screen, because the plot sees Chris Evans hiding in a washroom early in the film where he meets Jason's character, just kinda chilling there and doing some no-no-snow, you know, the huge. According to Jason, he was glad to spend time on his own or with Chris, as he felt Jessica was just not giving him a ton to work with when they were together. Nothing negative, just, wasn't the right vibe. When the film tanked, and I do mean it tanked, it is not good. The collective crew agreed that it was no one person's fault. Unfortunately though, when you are the lead of a film, you are held responsible when it comes up short. Number 9, Chris Evans. As we just talked about, Chris Evans was also a main cast member in the film London, playing Jessica's estranged boyfriend. He spends most of the movie doing no-no-snow and other fun stuff while trying to summon the courage to confront Jessica and reclaim his lady, which is a very problematic plot, I know. For Chris, he more than likely shares some disdain towards the project, mainly because of the way his character is portrayed and how poorly Jessica played hers. It was supposed to be a raw and emotional movie, but it didn't even get close to that. It had a stellar cast, people like Isla Fisher, Kat Dennings, Louis C.K. Nope, scratch that last one, that guy's not stellar anymore. Considering Chris has had more impressive roles since London, we can imagine that he's moved past this project and is glad to have gotten his start somewhere, even if that somewhere was acting like a degenerate and crashing a party that he wasn't invited to. Luckily for Chris, 2005 ended up being a great year, as not only was he in this disaster, but he also premiered as the Human Torch in the Fantastic Four, which is just like the best movie ever, probably ever made. Number 8, Jake Gyllenhaal. Jake Gyllenhaal is the chaotic good that we all need in this world. I could watch this dude do interviews all day long. Mr. Music is the best. So for him to not like Jessica Biel, it's pretty interesting. Their history together dates back to 2015 when they co-starred in a movie together called Accidental Love, a film that currently sits at an 8% on Rotten Tomatoes. So it's not great. It was supposed to be a rom-com, but it didn't turn out that way at all. The plot of the movie sees Jessica's character take a nail to the head, literally, and it changes the way she responds to emotion. Because she can't afford surgery to fix it, she finds a lawyer, who's played by Jake, to help her get the coverage that she needs. Shenanigans ensue and they end up falling in love. You get it. Since the film tanked at the box office, there's been some debate as to who is really to blame. Was it Jake Gyllenhaal, aka Donnie Darko, aka Bubble Boy, aka Jack Twist from Brokeback Mountain? Or was it Jessica Biel, star of I Now Pronounce You Chuck and Larry and Whistler's daughter from the third Blade movie? Of course considered to be the best Blade movie of all time, especially by Wesley Snipes. I'm being sarcastic. Jake has never publicly claimed that his co-star is to blame for this poor reception, but he doesn't have to. We know. Number 7, Gerard Butler. Gerard Butler is not a man that would normally be associated with the world of romantic comedies. Famously, Gerard has played more brooding and angry enemies in films, being the man that kicked 1,000 kicks in the 2006 action drama 300. But of course, he was in some more romantic themed movies beforehand. Fun fact, Gerard Butler portrayed the Phantom of the Opera in a 2004 film, and he did an amazing job. This dude has an incredible voice. In 2012, Gerard and Jessica starred opposite of each other in a romantic comedy called Playing for Keeps. Gerard plays a retired soccer star who's struggling financially and failing in his attempts to make things right with his ex-wife, played by Jessica Biel, and their son, Louis. A position opens up on Louis's soccer team and Gerard steps in. His character's not just good with the kids, but with the single moms as well. Honestly, this sounds like kind of a fun movie. It's literally just Will Ferrell's kicking and screaming, but with romance. romance. Unfortunately, the cast was not enough to save this film from being a massive dud. Anyone who has seen this film agrees that it wasn't Gerard that was the problem, it was everyone else. While Gerard admitted that he didn't love playing the character, he wasn't super fond of working with Jessica Biel either. A studio head revealed a while ago that the only reason she was actually casted in that movie was because she looked good next to Gerard and not her acting abilities, and that always goes very well. Number 6. Uma Thurman. Uma was one of the single soccer moms from Playing for Keeps, acting as a love interest of its main character Gerard. Uma has a very divisive career considering that she was in Pulp Fiction, the 1998 Avengers movie, not that Avengers, different Avengers, though Uma is definitely someone who should be in the MCU. Get on that as soon as possible, Kevin Feige, I'm looking at you. She also had the misfortune of appearing in the 1997 comedy Batman and Robin alongside of Arnold Schwarzenegger and George Clooney, and I do apologize for bringing up any traumatic memories that you might have surrounding that movie. For Uma, a woman who has led many movies to great success, it must have felt odd for someone of a lower status to be the leading lady in the movie. At the time, Jessica was still trying to find her place in Hollywood, something that she is still apparently trying to do, so to be casted as the lead when you are surrounded by A-listers like Uma Thurman and Catherine Zeta-Jones, it's a bit off-putting. I intend on watching this movie as soon as possible, I have to know how bad it really is. And speaking of Catherine Zeta-Jones, number 5, Catherine Zeta-Jones. Catherine was yet another soccer mom on the cast of Playing for Keeps, and much like her fellow co-star Uma, has a very impressive track record. She starred in movies like The Legend of Zorro, Chicago, Ocean's 12, and now she is Morticia Addams in the Netflix series Wednesday. She was also featured in the National Treasure TV show on Disney+, but I don't like to talk about that show. Very bad. For someone who not only had a proven record of solid movies, but who could have very easily played the leading lady, she must have been pretty uncomfortable on set. She stole the show whenever Jessica was on screen, and rightfully so. With a cast like that in this movie, you can't blame any of them for warning Hollywood to not cast her again. She had no proper talent and was cast because she had the face that the producers were looking for rather than the acting talent like the rest of the cast. Number 4, Edward Norton. Edward Norton has an interesting career track record, unable to solidify himself in one genre until he started working with Wes Anderson. Before working with Wes, Norton was featured as the lead in a movie called The Illusionist. The film is about a magician who uses his magic to win the heart of a woman far above his social standings, who of course is played by Jessica Biel. It's actually a pretty neat movie if you're into slow burns, so check it out if you have never seen it. My mother has it on DVD, you can ask her for it. They have only worked together once, but there was probably a reason for this. Edward Norton was in movies like Fight Club, The Incredible Hulk, Glass Onion, so he is nothing short of an amazing actor. So for him to be working alongside of an unconvincing typecasted person was just overall disappointing. The movie did okay, but a common complaint was that Jessica's acting was just not as good as some of the other people in the movie. She simply just looked the part, which unfortunately seems to be the case with most Jessica Biel movies. Seriously, someone give this lady an acting class or two. Number 3, Nick Cage. In the movie Next, Nick plays a stage magician in Las Vegas, Nevada, who can see exactly 2 minutes into the future. Very specific. An FBI agent catches on to this, and so does a group of very bad people who I have never seen Next, and I will now be watching it as soon as I'm done filming this. So, to gain leverage on the group of people that they take, Jessica is a hostage, and the FBI agents have to help Nick get her back while learning more about his abilities. Jessica plays the love interest once again, and she just doesn't do great once again. The movie was supposed to be intense and action-packed, and she just doesn't really fit into that title. Now, Nick Cage is not an easy man to work with and is known for taking small game passion projects and just milking them for everything they have, but this movie did not really help, nor ruin either of their careers overall. It was just a step, but not in any good direction. Number 2, Estee Stanley. He has been Jessica's personal stylist since he was actually famous, no doubt because of her very famous husband. But Estee happened to have a book with all of Jessica's past red carpet outfits, where a lot of them were just cringy or plain inappropriate for the occasions. Some of the instances, just to name a few, were wedged flip-flops and crop tops, or low-rise jeans with tube tops. I feel like I'm reading a Dr. Seuss book. There was one photo where he was wearing a leather jacket, leather pants, and a beanie on the red carpet, so hey, looking cool, calm, and collected. Hey, you can't blame her stylist for wanting to shake her a little bit to knock the sense into her. At least her personal stylist hasn't done anything super dirty popularity compared to the other people on this list. And at number 1, Britney Spears. Taking the top spot on this list is of course Britney J. Spears. It's obvious that Jessica isn't going to like her. She's married to her very toxic ex-boyfriend Justin Timberlake. Britney went off when talking about how terrible Justin was, and it ended up getting Jessica all worked up and filled with fury. Jessica has attempted to defend herself and Justin by saying that everything happened 20 years ago and that he already apologized for everything that he did, so we should all just move on already. But she also claimed that Britney's announcing that they could have had a child together sent Jessica's family into a frenzy. So much so that they just went on vacation to get away from the chaos, cause you know, leaving the country suddenly always makes you look super just great. You guys look great. And those are 10 celebrities who tried to warn us about Jessica Biel. If you enjoyed this list, please leave a like down below and follow the channel for more celebrity content each and every day. Thank you for stopping beyond the screen. We'll see you next time.